Welcome and hello. This is a video lesson in Python for water resources titled SciPy. SciPy is a Python library that provides numerical algorithms for solving scientific and engineering problems. In this lesson, I'll introduce some of the more common uses and applications of SciPy. What you see on the screen here is example one. I'm going to be working through four separate examples and demonstrating how SciPy can be used to quickly solve some of these problems. All right, we'll return to this in just a second. What I want to do is show you how to install SciPy first. So what you see here is my Visual Studio. Here's my main file, script.py. That's where I'm going to be writing my Python. But over here is my terminal window. I'm using PowerShell. If you want to install SciPy, you're going to want to pip install SciPy, just like that. Hit enter. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it. And if you're using Windows Python Launcher, it's just py-m pip install SciPy. That should install to the default version of Python. And if you want to specify the version, it's just dash 3.14 or whatever version of Python that you want to install SciPy to. Okay, so I've already got that done. It will just download, install, and also install any dependencies if there are any. But let's go back to that first problem statement we had up earlier. Find the normal depth. All right, we have Manning's equation, Q equals the right-hand side here. The depth is part of the cross-sectional area and the hydraulic radius. So I have some properties right here. I know the flow rate is 500 CFS, Manning's N, the channel slope, and the width. And I also know that it is a rectangular channel. I guess it doesn't say that here, but just assume that it is a rectangular channel. Okay, so for instance, A would be 20 feet, that's the width, times the depth of water, which we'll call Y. Now we could solve this manually, but it could take a while. What we would basically do is be guessing and checking. And for instance, we guess a depth, Y, calculate the right-hand side, hence Q, and then compare that with the actual known flow rate. And based on that difference, we could update our estimation of the depth in the next iteration. But we are not going to do that. So what we're going to do instead is what you see on the screen here. Exercise 1, find the normal depth using Brent Q. Brent Q is a function which is inside of the SciPy library within the optimize module. So we are loading that and we're going to be using it down here at the bottom. First, what I'm doing is loading that function in so that we can use it. And then I'm putting in the known data. I realized that I'm using a different flow rate, but everything else is the same here. So instead of, what was it, 500 CFS? Yeah, I'm going to be using 245 CFS. But here's our Manning's N value, the channel slope, and then B, that is the width of the rectangular channel. All right, down here, I've defined an error function. So what I'm doing is calculating that flow rate based on a depth Y. This is just Manning's equation, so I'm calculating the area, the wetted perimeter, hydraulic radius, and then finally flow rate. And what this error function returns is the difference between the target flow and the calculated flow based on a given Y value or channel depth. And then SciPy does all the work because we just call this function BrentQ, and we call the error function first, and then a range of potential values for that value, for that depth, Y. So I'm going to just assume that the actual normal depth is somewhere between 0.01 feet and 10 feet. The depth will be calculated, and we're going to print out the depth right here at the bottom on line 20. Right, so I'm going to save that, come over here to the terminal window, which I have docked over here to the right, and then run. Okay. So it gives me a solution. This is 5.73 feet. So it was all done in one step, at least from the modeler's perspective. However, whatever happened within Brent Q probably took multiple iterations, which we as the modelers don't have to go through if we use this SciPy Brent Q function. All right, I'm going to make a few changes to my model input, and we're going to see how that affects the normal depth. So instead of a Manning's N of 0.035, I'm going to change that to 0.021. Go ahead and save. Of course, we're going to have a lower normal depth. It was 5.73. Now it's 4.03 feet. And let's change one more thing. How about let's reduce the width from 20 feet. That's our B variable here on line 8. Let's make it 12 feet instead. So that will increase the normal depth. It was 4.03. Now it's 6.39. That's in feet. Now, you may be like me and curious about what sort of tolerance is used, like how accurate this Brent Q equation is. And we can specify a tolerance. There's both an absolute tolerance, X tall, and relative tolerance, R tall. So what I'm going to do is go to my Brent Q equation here, and then at the end for my what is going to be a fourth parameter, X tall of 0.1. That means it's going to be precise down to 1 decimal place. On the final line here, I'm going to increase the precision of reporting to zero point 0.4, so we'll be able to see the difference as we decrease the tolerance. I'm going to start with a fairly large tolerance right here of 0.1. Right, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to come over to here to the terminal and then clear and then run. So what it gives me is 6.4026 feet. Now what I'm going to do is decrease the tolerance by tenfold. So now it's going to be 0.01 for my X toll value. This is the universal or absolute tolerance. The relative tolerance is R toll, just like that. I'm not going to use R toll, but what that does is it's a tolerance relative to the magnitude of the solution. All right, so let's run this again in the terminal over here to the right, and we have 6.3862. So now we can confidently report that this is correct to 2 decimal places, whereas before we only had the confidence with 1 decimal place. Let's go one more trial here, but decrease the tolerance another 10 times, now down to 0.001 for our X tall value. Then let's see what we get here. It is 6.3862, so that is the same as it was previously. Looks like there's no improvement by decreasing that X tall value any further. Other situations where you may be using the Brent Q function, this is basically just a root finding function, is in solving for critical depth, pipe flow equations, pump operating points, groundwater equations, rating curves, and reservoir equations. All right, so that was our first example. Number 2 here is find the flow at 3.5 feet. So what we're going to be doing here is taking this rating curve here. It's not really a curve at the moment because it's just data points. Just consider this measured data points. We have a point down here at 0, 0. We have a point here at 500. But of course, it's not linear. There's some curvature to this. This is just some data I made up. We're going to be using the interp1d function from the interpolate module within SciPy. So let's go back to our code. I'll just delete everything I had and then paste in what I'm going to run. So let's talk about this briefly. I'm importing a function called interp1d. It's coming from interpolate module. Here is the same data that we saw on the screen. So our stages range from 0 up to 5 feet. Our flows range from 0 up to 500 CFS. And then my rating curve function right here is going to use interp1d and then take into account the values for stage and flow. And the way this works is I just call rating curve, I'll set that equal to q, and then I set my stage value or my independent variable, which is stage, and that's going to return a q. Right, so let's go ahead and give this a shot. I'm going to save, and then let's clear the terminal window and run it. Okay. So it tells me that the flow is 230 CFS. And if you look at the numbers or the plot, actually, yeah, no, let's look at the numbers. 3.5 is equal distance between 3 and 4, and 230 is equal distance between 160 and 300. So no surprise there. That's just a linear interpolation, which may be good enough for what you're doing. Just to confirm that it is linear, let's change the rating curve to use 4.5 instead of 3.5. I'm down here on line 11, and this should be even an easier solution because halfway between 300 and 500 is 400. So let's just confirm that we're going to get a flow of 400 when the stage is 4.5 feet. And sure enough, there is our 400. Now, linear interpolation may not be appropriate, maybe a little too simplistic. So what I'm going to do next is add in a cubic spline function. I'm going to import that in also in the interpolate module. And the other thing I need to do is come down here and instead of interp1d, I'm going to paste in cubic spline. That's the new function we're going to be using. This is going to take into account the curvature of that rating curve. So I'm going to save that. Let's run it at 4.5 as our stage first. So what we should expect is probably a flow a little bit less than 400. So I'm going to save that and then let's just clear and run. Okay, so now we're down to 391.3 CFS. And just for good measure, let's go with 3.5 for the stage and test that. So before it was what, 230? Yeah, and now it's down to 223.1 CFS. So there are a few other options for interpolation, but what you saw here, interp1d and cubic spline are the two that I demonstrated. Interp1d is just linear, and then cubic spline did take into account the curvature of the data. Okay, next up is, that was example 2. Next up, we have example 3. We're going to find the volume. So what we're looking at here is a flow hydrograph. That is the flow rate on the vertical axis, the time on the horizontal axis. Of course, the area under the curve here represents the total volume. Okay, so we're going to use calculus and integrate and find that area under the curve. We're not going to do it. We're just going to use the SciPy library, specifically the trapezoid function. So let's go ahead and make that happen. I'm going to delete everything I have and then boom. Exercise 3, find the volume using trapezoid method. So it's an approximation by creating little trapezoids, adding up the area of all the little trapezoids is how this works. Import trapezoid. It's from the integrate module within SciPy. Here are the values right here that we saw on the plot for time, and then here they are for flow. So we're just increasing 1 hour at a time, and then here are the flow rates associated with those 1 hours. And then my volume equation right here, this is what we're actually going to compute and then print out at the bottom. It's going to be using the trapezoid function, which takes into account the flow and the time. And I'm also converting from from hours to seconds and then from square feet to acres because I'm going to be reporting the total volume in acre feet. Okay, so let's save that. And then I'm going to clear. So we're on exercise 3 now. What we have is a volume of 104.3 acre feet. I'm going to go ahead and just change one value. So how about the peak flow right here of 400? I'm going to change that down to 300. I'm on line 7. So let's go ahead and run it one more time and just confirm that the total volume is a little bit less than what it was previously. So save it. Now we're down to 96.1 acre feet. Nice. However, just like the interpolation method, the trapezoid method here uses linear interpolation, and linear may not be as precise as we want to use. So what I'm going to do here is use the Simpson method. This is another function within integrate, which fits parabolic curves between groups of points. So this should be a little bit more accurate for us. So I've got that added up here. And then what I'm going to do for my volume calculation on line 12 is pretty much the same thing. Here, let me give myself a little bit more room here. Instead of trapezoid, I'm going to be using Simpson. And then I need to say x equals time instead, but the conversion is the same. So I'll just comment out this volume right here and save. Let me make this a little bit wider. And previously the volume was 96.1 acre feet. So let's run it again using Simpson method. Now we're down to 94.4 acre feet. So just about a 2% difference. And if I wanted to change that value back from 300 up to 400 and then compare Simpson method versus trapezoid. Originally with trapezoid, we had 104.3 acre feet. Let's run it now with Simpson. It's going to be 105.4 acre feet. So that's interesting because Simpson was a little bit lower for the first set of data and a little bit higher for the second set of data compared to the trapezoid method. All right, we have one more example to look at here. That was number 3. We're on to number 4. This is going to be involved with curve fitting. Solve for the rating curve with this equation right here. Q equals a coefficient A times y raised to the B. Q represents the flow, y represents the depth, and we're going to find the coefficients A and B, where A is a linear term and then B here is the coefficient or the power term. Back to our Python script. I'm just going to keep reusing this same file. What you see on the screen here is the code that I'm going to be running. Curve fit is the function we're going to be using. It's within the optimize module of SciPy. Here is the data right here that we just saw. Then I'm going to define a rating curve function. This is a times h raised to the b power. So h right here would be the depth, or y. And then the curve fit function is going to return our parameters as well as a covariance, which I'm not actually even using. We send it the rating curve, the stage data, and the flow data, and then it gives us our parameters here, and we're going to print that out at the end. Right, so I'm going to save that, give myself a little bit more room here in the terminal over here on the right side, and run it. We should see values of A and B printed out here. So A is 11.797, B is 2.63 based on the input data. If I wanted to modify some of the data just to make sure that A and B change accordingly, I'm going to do that. Let's change the last value from 450 down to 400. That's the last value here on line 8 in CFS. So this is what I changed if you're following along with me. I'm going to save that. And then let's see if we get some different values for A and B over here. Run. And we do. A is now 14.57. B is 2.399. What would be nice to see is all of this plotted up, and this right here is just an image. So I'm going to just use Matplotlib, which is a library for plotting in Python. And I've actually covered Matplotlib in detail in a separate video, which was the previous lesson, lesson number 14. I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video if you're interested. But I need to import that library. So right here, I've added Matplotlib with an alias of PLT. Then I'm going to prepare a plot that includes a line and our data points down here at the bottom. So starting on line 19, I'm going to paste in all of this right here. You're welcome to pause the video and take a look at what I've added. I'm basically preparing the data, then I'm preparing the plot, and then I'm preparing some of the labels on the plot. And the last line here is actually going to display the plot on the screen. Right, so let me give myself some room here. Over in the terminal, I'm going to run what I've just created. We should see that same plot that we saw previously. This is now within Python and interactive. So we have the blue dots, those are the observed values, and then the red line here is the fitted curve based on that equation. It looks like our flow here is a little bit over predicting at the lower stages, but definitely under predicting right here. Let's go ahead and change that value back to what it was originally, 450. So if I scroll up to the final flow value of 400, let's change it back to 450 and save. And then I actually need to close this to get my prompt back. Okay, let's clear it and run it. We should see pretty much the same data points, but the line should be a little bit different. Yeah, it looks like that's a little bit better fit just by observation. I'm not going to actually perform any calculations. And that is it for this lesson on SciPy. What we did was do a few different examples, such as find the normal depth by finding the root, and then finding a interpolated flow rate. After that, we found the area under the curve, and then coefficients A and B to solve for this rating curve. Other applications and uses for SciPy include statistics, optimization, linear algebra, and differential equations, just to name a few. And that concludes this lesson in Python for water resources on the library SciPy.